Alright, so I have no idea what to tell you guys. Today was nuts. Insane play. I'm not really one to swing trades much. It's just not the safest thing to do. Really depends on what's happening with the market, where things stand, and so on. But markets really soared, and it soared so hard that the contracts I was holding on to yesterday went up like this. So if you remember yesterday, I had bought the SPY 440 calls and I swang them into today. And my average was about, let's take a look at it. So we can look at the profits I posted. This image right here, right? So I was at an average of 1.67, and this morning 9:30 a.m. right at open it popped to 6.5. It was going, it was dwindling. I was scared. I sold 5 of them at 6.5, right? And this morning during the pre-market prep moment, I predicted that SPY, with the energy that is showing and the market sentiment and everything else, all the technical analysis, all ideas put together with the CPI and inflation data, I felt that SPY would hit 450 today. And, you know, I predicted that this contract might actually hit 10, which it did. And I sold the last one at 8, all right, because I was busy. But insane day, right? So you can see here, the contract did in fact hit 10. I'm not sure if that would have actually filled a sell order or not, but I would have still been very happy with that. I also jumped into this SPY 448 play today and took that up for quite a bit. Let me see if I have a screenshot for that. Yeah, I do have a screenshot for that too, right? So the 448 play right here, I got in at 0.84, right? And I believe I sold this at 1.3. 1.3, I was out. It ended up going past 2 at some point, right? So you can see there's a little bit of shakiness today. But swinging is a whole different beautiful thing. If you're swinging plays, they don't tend to have too much volatility. You have more time to recover from any possible uh, setbacks, and it allows you to catch something that you cannot catch without swinging, which is this entire gap up, right? By entering the day before, after hours, right near the end of the day, I was able to go into the next day and take this entire gap up, right? That's humongous, over 500% in profits. Markets were really nuts today, right? So if we look at everything that happened, on my master list right here, we're seeing plug. Look at plug. Just look at it, right? It's just insane what it did, right? Great jump on that. And phase blew up. Like, there's just no stopping that. Tesla did pretty nicely as well, right? Even had some more movement after hours, right? After hours going up to 240. And based off of everything that's happening, I'm looking forward to a more bullish movement into tomorrow, which is why I actually, if I refresh this, you'll see it, bought more calls to swing into tomorrow. All right, so now, being that it's a cash account, I couldn't sell it the moment I bought it, but I got in at 4 cons for 2.46. This did end up going to 2.73 at some point. It had also fallen down to 1.82 and lower, where I did think of buying more at 2 to average down, but I didn't. I was like, I'll wait till tomorrow. I'll wait till tomorrow. So this is looking pretty good. Assuming there's another gap up in SPY tomorrow morning, we should see some powerful action. I predicted SPY would hit 450 today, and it did. It very well damn did, and that was really, really great. It's dwindling with the 449 line that I have here. So tomorrow morning, we're hopefully going to see a pretty nice gap up and go past 451, possibly even 453, because the only good news that had just recently come out about a few hours ago was that the market shutdown once again has been postponed by Congress signing some bullshit, right? So hopefully that's going to bring even more confidence into investors and things keep going. Um, but yeah, the whole aspect of everything that's happening is still very shaky, because if we take a quick look at crypto, looking at Bitcoin right here, it was downwards, right? So crypto bears did pretty well today. This fell as low as just a little below 35K. It's holding 35 still. right? And coin had gapped up severely in the morning, but it fell throughout the day. So whoever got coin puts that open pretty much was the only thing you could get puts on and really succeed today, you know, of all the things I watch at least. So that's kind of where things are standing. Continuation of inflation's downward trend gave the bulls confidence to pour fuel on the recent rally, with bond stocks and most commodities jumping sharply. And you can see how everything's green, right? LLY was the only, pharma stuff, a little bit of redness, but other than that, 11 sectors all closed green. The world's largest contract electronics maker, Foxconn, surprised the market with an 11% third quarter profit despite operating revenues falling 12%. So that's great. Boeing added another 1.5% today, and despite the crypto market rebounding, some corporate miners like Hut 8 Mining continue to struggle, and its third quarter net loss more than doubled due to production downtime. Life sciences company Azenta popped 14%. Meanwhile, Vistagen Therapeutics jumped 17% after Stifel initiated coverage on the biotech stock with a buy rating. There was a lot of pharma movement today. Actually, one of the main stocks that were running today was BCDA, right? So at 4 a.m. it popped, it held, and then it kept going. So you could have gotten in at any time, but after 8 a.m. it kept going, and then after open it hit a new high of day, all based off of an FDA approval for a trial they want to do. So that was great. AIRE also kept going, you know, and then TSBX was also great throughout the day. Very powerful movement, pretty much going from 1.7 to 3.4, essentially 100% on the day. And it was good to see. It's good to see all these stocks really soaring up, because that's kind of what brings out the bulls, brings out the movement, and things start getting even more heated. CPI really did do it though. The Fed's hawkish tone toward interest rates and inflation kept a lid on the market. However, the CPI data renewed Bulls' hope that we could avoid a higher for longer situation after all, which is what caused the pop and that printed 500% this morning. October's headline CPI was unchanged and rose 3.2%, below expectations. That was also down from September. Excluding food and energy prices, core consumer prices rose 0.2% and 4%. That was below what they expected by Wall Street, but it just worked out. It was good to go, not a major issue. Everything was good. The data was exactly what the market needed, and markets just went crazy. Home Depot kicked off results, earnings, and down after hours a little bit, but all in all, up 5% on the day, and they were happy. They were happy. As for inflation, CFO Richard McPhail said, "I think the most important observation we've made is that the worst the inflationary environment is behind us." So hopefully this means we're going to continue seeing a bull run and more swinging of calls, less volatility per se. And then let's take a look at bullets from the day. YouTube issues new guidelines for videos using AI, right? So major issue with videos using AI. There's a bunch of shows out there, Black Mirror and whatnot, that have shown how, even Blacklist, these are some shows that have shown how AI could be used for creating content that is completely false, right? Where the person talking might not actually be that real person, or the things that are occurring in the content are not really being done by real people, but it looks like someone. So you're basically fabricating a whole personality and story on someone that's not really there, and that's an entire I guess identity theft kind of issue, and it can be used to really cause defamation. So a lot of issues of that type are coming up. One of the worst types of issues is using AI to attack girls in school. College students are doing it, high school students are doing it, where they're posting practically fake nudes of girls by using AI, and that's becoming a really big problem that really can't be controlled per se. Republicans unite against new bank regulations. As bank regulators prepare to testify in front of the Senate and House committees this week, they're expecting sustained opposition from Republicans who want to stop plans to increase bank capital requirements. The banking lobby has said that Basel III would restrict billions of dollars in capital from those who need it most, reducing availability and raising credit costs for millions of Americans, and that's just not acceptable. So we'll see what happens. Airbnb acquires a secretive new AI startup for around $200 million. The online rental marketplace has acquired GamePlanner.ai, whose co-founders were behind separate firms focused on AI assistants that Apple and Samsung acquired. It's unclear what the company does specifically or how Airbnb plans to leverage the technology. Still, CEO Brian Chesky has previously stated that he wants to use generative AI to build a travel concierge. So, good to see Airbnb trying to utilize more innovative methods on things, I suppose, but we'll see where that goes. China tells local governments to cut their public-private project debt exposure. Debt exposure is not something that needs to be cut. You know, the country has identified problematic public-private partnerships and has ordered its local governments to halt new investments in these projects as it looks to reduce municipal debt risks. Local government debt has soared to 76% of China's 2022 economic output. Given its economy's recent issues, the State Council is looking to reform public-private partnership model for the first time since 2014. So, China shouldn't really be bothered by that too much. They run everything anyway, and they own a lot of land everywhere. So loans aren't really their issue. It's more of America's issue, if anything. But we'll see where things go. And lastly, Rivian, right? Rivian signs an agreement to build a Georgia electric vehicle factory. And if we take a quick look at Rivian, where was it today? Let's see. How did Rivian do today? It held. It gapped up pretty strongly pre-market, and then went even more after open. But in general, it has held, and most likely will continue to go tomorrow. So on the daily, it's pretty green and making its way towards 30 again. So you never know, to be honest, and it really could make it there. Tomorrow morning, my plans are to watch this continue. Assuming it gaps up, it'll hold pretty well. This expires much later, November 23rd. Sorry, November 20th. So there's no rush in closing this, and I have plenty of time to continue adding more to it if it sinks a little bit. But if it's green tomorrow and it's popping tomorrow, I'll close it and I'll take those gains, and I'll have substantial funds left over to do other plays because of this win, right? So the win in the morning where all this popped. Unbelievable day though, unbelievable day. Massive run, massive run. Anyone that was holding this contract for a long time, imagine that, right? Going from 0.3 to even like 2.3, right? Like insane. It went to 2.6, but like just unbelievable gains right there on that CPI. And CPI information of this caliber is something you always want to watch out for patiently to try to see if you can grab. But that's all she wrote for today. So thanks a lot for joining, and I'll see you guys tomorrow pre-market.